Going for gold. Over the last couple of weeks, probably like about half the world's population, I've been watching a lot of the Olympic Games. And this is the first time for several games that I've actually paid much attention to them. I've often been busy with other things in previous years. But this time, because I'm not working as much, then I decided, why not? I'll watch some of it. Of course, there is the issue of the time difference between here and Paris. I only watched the games in the evening, really, which was equivalent to the day session in Paris, and into the wee hours of the morning too, sometimes. But I wasn't up late enough to watch some of the finals, particularly in that first week in the swimming events. They were happening at 3 and 4 a.m. here, and I could neither stay up that late nor get up that early. But I did see a lot of it, and I saw quite a lot of the final performances as well, the gold medal performances. Australia always punches above its weight in events like this, and this was probably the best Olympics we've ever had, certainly in terms of the gold medal tally. And like the rest of Australia, I can't help feeling a little bit proud of what we achieved. I did that. You find yourself watching all kinds of weird and wonderful sports that you may never even have heard of, and of course becoming an expert in those overnight. It amazes me how the elite athletes push themselves to achieve what they do achieve, and they sometimes pay a big price for that in terms of what it does to their body over the years. But their dedication, their commitment, and the extremes to which they push themselves, I can't help but be impressed. Now, I was never much of an athlete in my younger days, not to imply that I am now. Books were my thing, not sports. But I am nevertheless proud of some of my achievements over the years. They're my gold medal performances, if you like. For example, this is my PhD thesis in theology from 1988. That's 3.5 years worth of work there. This is my PhD thesis from 2009. Of course, the first one was in theology. This one is in evolutionary biology. It's interesting, perhaps just comparing them. I guess that says something about the difference between the way these disciplines operate. Very chunky volume, that about 100,000 words, and this one I'm not sure how many words. But each of the chapters in this was published in an academic scientific journal as well, so I'm very proud of that. And one more, this is the first novel that I ever published. And this represents the fulfillment of a process that began when I was in my early 20s, really, and culminated in 2012 when I published this when I was 55 years old. So each of these things represents a really large chunk of commitment from me, and I am proud of them. Of course, in between all this, I've had a lot of failures too, and mediocre periods. When I left high school and went straight to university, I really bombed out. I dropped out of university after the second year, or during my third year, I think. I was doing a maths science degree, and I just was not up to that at the time. And throughout my life, I've had jobs that I really hated and basically sucked at, both in the church and outside of the church. And when I completed my PhD in biology, I went to Switzerland and spent 3 years at the University of Lausanne, there ostensibly doing research, but it was a disaster. I achieved very little during that time. So I've had my highs and I've had my lows, just as athletes do. Athletes will all tell you the story of the terrible lows that they've been through. Now, my achievements are not the kind of thing that are going to get much television coverage. They're not the kinds of things that are going to win me gold medals. Although I did win the university medal at JCU for my undergraduate work and my honours year. So I think I'm rightly proud of those achievements. I'm sure all of us over our lifetime have achievements which, while they may not garner much media attention, and hopefully in a positive way, not in a negative way, we can regard as our gold medal achievements. We'll have our highs and our lows, but there will be highs, and we can be proud of ourselves for what we've achieved. Of course, like the athletes, we don't do it alone. We have our families, our friends, in my case, our academic staff supporting me, and even some financial support from some quarters. So we don't do it alone, but nevertheless, we can be proud of our achievements. And I'm proud of these achievements, even my PhD in theology, even though obviously I subsequently left the church. I still am proud of that as an achievement. It's been fun watching the Olympics. I've really loved to see Australia doing so well. I've loved watching some of those weird and wacky sports. But it also did remind me that even though I'm not an elite athlete, I have achieved some significant things throughout my life. And I'm sure you have too.